Welcome back, AMFishers. I'm Bill Georgopoulos, the host of the AMFish fishing vlog series. I got a gorgeous late fall day out here, just out here hunting for some muskie, and I'm making, probably, it might be depending on weather, maybe my last several videos here for the season until I get into some ice fishing. This fishing vlog is, again, just me coming up with my random topics, things I think you guys would want to see and learn about. Especially for all the amateur fishermen, fisher kids, fisher ladies out there. And this one specifically pertains to allowing your gear to do the job. And what I mean by that, I'm going to turn my boat slightly here. What I mean by that is, we tend to sometimes, you know, I'll just use an example. I've had some friends in the boat who want to cast really, really far. They want to cast, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60 yards. And they'll over torque. And what I mean by over torque is, I've got just a storm bait on here. It's a pretty big bait, but I've got it on a rod and reel that can handle casting this. So again, just going back to the purpose of this vlog is, allow your gear to do what it needs to do. If I'm going to torque, and what I mean by torque is, again, I've been in boats with people, I've seen people do it as well. They engage their reel, and instead of just allowing the reel and the rod to do what it needs to do, they will bring the rod way back like this. Like, yeah, it's one of those things, you don't need to do that, but you'll see people bring it way back and then come hoofing forward with all this power and all this strength. Sorry, that's just my cell phone beeping out. You don't need to do that. You absolutely don't need to do that. Again, I've got a fairly large bait here. I just pulled that just over my shoulder and I've cast out there at least 25-30 yards. I'm going to do a few more casts here. Just going to bring this in real quick. So as you can see, got a fairly long fishing rod here, and I'm out there 20, 30, 40 yards. It will do what it needs to do. A longer rod's going to allow you to cast farther. A shorter fishing rod obviously is not going to allow you to cast as far. But torquing your gear, there's an opportunity there to get a really bad hang up in your line, especially if you're using braided line, digging it in. You can snap a bait off a leader, you can snap a bait off your line. If you just allow your actual gear to do what it needs to do, you'll have a better day out on the water. You'll be able to cast a lot easier without all these hiccups. And you know what? Not doing this, I mean, I'm pretty close to the edge of the back of my boat on this side. Or if I'm doing this, I'm going to bring that back. It's almost right there in front of the camera. So if my friend's standing at the back seat and I've got my camera tripod on the back seat of the boat, I'm going to snare someone. I mean, this is 7-8 foot rod. I'm going to gaff somebody and not even realize it, because I'm just thinking I want to get so far out there. I want to torque this fishing rod and cast as far as I can. And again, the rod will cast for you. You can utilize wind. I've got pretty decent wind coming at me this way. I can utilize it by casting this way, so I'll go further over that way and cast this way and let the wind carry my bait. But at the end of the day, your fishing rod and reel will do that for you. They will allow you to cast certain distances without any major issues. The over torquing, like I said, I've seen it. I've had a friend snag the back motor, and rod comes this way. Thank God I didn't lose his rod or break his fishing rod. The bait snapped off, went in one direction. I've had another friend almost snag the seat in the boat. Sure, we started somewhere. Years ago I wanted to cast out really far and I torqued myself. And then I realized how far back, because we're not looking backwards, we're always looking forward to see where our bait's going to land. When I looked back and said, oh my goodness, I'm actually close to the lip of the boat here. I mean, do I really need to be that far back with my fishing rod? And again, little side cast there, I'm probably a good 25-30 yards out there, no problem. Again, a little heavier weight will get your bait will get out there further as well. So if you're using a really light bait, you're going to want to use a spin cast, but just let your gear do what it needs to do. Don't over torque. Save yourselves potentially gashing yourself, even yourself in the back. Like I said, doing this, I mean, this can easily come back, this bait can easily come back towards me and snare myself in the back of the back of the thigh, or even my back, or maybe even my head. So again, hope you found this vlog helpful. Just allow your gear to do what it's meant to do. It's no different than a golf club. You can torque all you want, you're going to end up spinning way off into the right or the left. And then we just let the golf club do what it needs to do with decent power that you're putting behind it. More controlled power, as I like to call it. You will be a lot more successful. So I'm going to get back to some fishing here. Again, it might be my last outing, so I just want to see if I can hook into a couple of big muskie that I've been hunting most of the day. So thanks for tuning in. See you next time.